The CoinDesk Spotlight is brought to you by Nexo, the place to earn on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and more.
Meta, formerly Facebook, can't seem to avoid causing controversy. The social media giant's name change and long-term plan to build its own metaverse are raising eyebrows. Brendan from Dharma, an Ethereum wallet, tweeting, "So basically it's Ethereum versus Facebook in a race to create a compelling metaverse. Open versus closed, transparent versus opaque, permissionless versus permissioned, community-owned versus Zuck-owned. My bets are placed. Let's build a better future together." Joining us now to discuss is Don Tapscott, co-founder of the Blockchain Research Institute and the author of a new book called Platform Revolution. Hello there, Don. So with Meta, formerly Facebook, they want to get into NFTs and build a metaverse. Is that a good thing, or is that a threat to the decentralized communities that have been incubating and proliferating organically?
Well, there are two different perspectives here, as you just described, on how to go about creating the metaverse. First of all, the metaverse is an idea that's been around for a long time. I used to hang out in Second Life. I gave lectures there. I had a house and all kinds of stuff. And that was years ago. We wrote about that in Wikinomics well over 15 years ago. But Second Life in general is getting a second life because of blockchain. And it's not even clear that Facebook will have a blockchain platform for that, for their Meta. It's getting a second life because we can now have an actual currency in the metaverse. We can now protect digital assets with NFTs. Thank you for mentioning my new book, Platform Revolution. But we wrote about the concept of crypto collectibles 6 years ago in Blockchain Revolution. And also, we have a much more secure platform now with blockchain. So this is the only way to do the metaverse. And will Facebook even do that? Well, that's a big question, because in many ways, the platform of blockchain, which is becoming the platform for the corporation and the changes to the deep structure and architecture of the firm, it's becoming the platform for supply chains. It's becoming the platform for the transformation of entire industries. It's also becoming the platform for new social forms of engagement involving the citizens of the world. So blockchain is achieving platform status, and Facebook has shown no evidence that it has a clue about that, or else having an open platform like this is antithetical to the basic business model of the company.
It's nice to see you. So I guess a question, though, about these sort of how blockchain, this transformative power of blockchain that you're talking about. Can you give us a few concrete examples of blockchain use cases that are actually being used by a significant number of people? I mean, I'm sure they're out there, but they're definitely not widely known. Blockchain is still talked about a lot in terms of potential and promise. But like, what are some examples of blockchain technology actually being applied and being used by a significant number of people?
Well, that's what we talk about in Platform Revolution. It's just a myth that this isn't happening, that blockchain is just about digital assets and crypto. It's being adopted by enterprises all around the world. And, just something like, consider supply chain. The CEO of FedEx, Fred Smith, said that we built a company around a concept, the chain of custody. And we built some technology, we put our logo on it, we took it out to market, and we created a whole industry. We're going to do that again around blockchain. And they've got significant activity that's happening everywhere. And it's not just the transformation of the courier industry, it's logistics. So you have BITA, Blockchain and Transportation Alliance, which has all the big players, including competitors, that are working together. And you think about it, you got trains and boats and planes and trucks and escrow agents and payment systems and EDI and traditional ERP and information flying around and faxes and phone calls and emails and so on. Imagine if all of that were a shared network state, and that's the FedEx vision. a single version of the truth, real time transactions. There's no 3-day settlement period because the payment and the settlement is the same thing. It's just a change to a ledger. And we're studying 14 different industries, actually, at the BRI, and we talk about these in the new book, Platform Revolution. If I could just say another thing, though, it's not just about blockchain. This book is the first to introduce a new concept, not just that blockchain is achieving platform status, but that it's a platform for other technologies. And we call this the trivergence, okay? You heard it here first on CoinDesk. This is the convergence of blockchain as a platform with AI, machine learning, and the Internet of Things. And this is all part of the second era of the digital age. That, the first era had mainframes, mini computers, PCs, the Internet, the web, social media, the mobile web, the cloud, big data. And now we have this next generation of technology that is triverging around blockchain. And this is at the heart of very profound changes to every industry and also to every corporation as well.
Don, you mentioned trivergence and what have you, but is there any sort of data that shouldn't be on? What should not be on the blockchain as this trivergence happens? I mean, obviously there are limits to what things can be accomplished. But is there anything when you look at it and say, you know what, it's better for everyone if we don't have that data out there, and we maybe keep individualized databases on our own servers and not share it, etc. There's always the argument like, why not just use an Excel spreadsheet or something?
It's a good question, but I think that there are two parts of the question. Is what are the permissions that various people should have to access data? And the second is what data should be on a blockchain with appropriate security measures to ensure that the permissions and the privacy and the access that we want are available. And this is another big theme that we talk about in Platform Revolution. I'm after this, I'm getting on a plane. I'm heading to Denmark. Remember Shakespeare, something rotten in the state of Denmark? Actually, there's something rotten in the state of the web today. And this is hardly a revelation to anyone watching this show. And the big problem is the issue that you're addressing, that data is the asset class of the digital age and the foundation of our identities is being captured by these digital conglomerates, a new species of business that are first of all more valuable relative to the whole economy than any other forms of wealth in previous economies. You've got 5 companies that are now half of NASDAQ. They're 20% of the S&P 500. And this is a big problem for a lot of reasons. One, as you're alluding to, our data is owned by them, so they control it. The virtual you may know more than you do about all kinds of things, because you can't remember what you bought a year ago or said a year ago, or what your health record said, or what diagnosis you had, or what you got on that test, or your exact location. Mm-hmm. You create the data, but it's captured by these conglomerates. So we need a platform whereby it's not just about permissions, where I own that data, part one, and part two, that it's secure. And it's possible to build blockchain platforms that achieve both of those things. And if I own the data, by the way, this is not just about privacy. Although people say to me, well, Don, privacy's dead. Get over it. If you got nothing to hide, what's your problem? This is stupidity. Privacy is the foundation of freedom. And if you want to understand that, look at the social score in China.